Hey there friends, Taint here, or Tainterina, whatever you want to call me. I am a behavior intervention specialist that works in schools. I've worked with students for 15 years on conflict resolution, de-escalation strategies, and how to make choices that are better than the choices that they made to end up talking to me. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different with my experience, and we're going to do a body-worn camera breakdown. I want to start off talking about the fact that I believe the onus for the de-escalation is on the officer, not the subject. So you'll hear me talk a lot about what the officer could do differently in order to try to de-escalate the situation. That doesn't mean that the subject is off the hook, though. The subject, there are other things that they could be doing, including learning different social skills to avoid situations like this from happening. So we're going to go over what went right, what went wrong, and where it went off the rails to make it an entertaining video for you guys. Today I'm joined by my son Raptor, who has a different perspective on body-worn camera videos.
I used to have a lot of behavior issues when I was younger, and over time I've developed ways to help it and kind of alleviate the problems. So I'll share my experiences with like what would happen to me when I get angry or nervous, anything like that. And I'll explain like subject's side of the story and what's going through his mind with all of this.
Alright, so today our video comes from Code Blue Cam, and it's called Man Rips Up His Cash Over a Seatbelt Ticket. This is going to be a good one. I'm ready. Are you ready?
Sure.
Let's dive right in.
On July 1st, 2022, Racine County Sheriff's deputies observed the driver of a vehicle not wearing his seatbelt in Raymond, Wisconsin. As part of the Sheriff's Office Click It or Ticket campaign, a traffic stop was initiated. As the deputies were pulling him over, they observed the 36-year-old male driver hastily putting on his seatbelt.
Looks like today,
Oh, he's eating. You see that?
So you gonna point at me? 5-3 Wisconsin traffic.
Alright, so before we get up to the driver, I do want to say that I like that this department has a click it or ticket thing and that a seatbelt violation is a primary violation. Please do research for your jurisdiction. Some jurisdictions, a seatbelt violation is a primary violation, which means that you can get pulled over simply because you don't have a seatbelt. In other jurisdictions, it is a secondary violation, which means that the officer has to observe you doing something else in order to pull you over, and then you can receive the ticket because you're not wearing a seatbelt. Make sure you know which jurisdiction you live in, so you know how to handle that properly. That being said, if you wear a seatbelt all the time, because let's be honest, seatbelts save lives, that's something that you're never going to have to worry about.
Southbound G on-ramp. Hi there. I'm Deputy Ortiz with the Racine County Sheriff's Office. Stop because your seatbelt isn't on, and we're actually out. You put it on when we were pulling up behind you. I watched you.
That's not true.
And he looked
Your body
right
was
at you.
fully leaned forward, sir, when you took the turn
I
on.
watched you put it on. We're not going to argue about a $10 seatbelt ticket when
Hey,
we're...
it's right here.
Okay, driver's license and insurance, okay?
I'm not giving you nothing. It's not.
Driver's license and insurance, sir. You're going to make this more difficult than it has to be. Your driver's license and insurance, sir.
Do you see this?
Sir, do you want to
When
be
you
forcibly
drove
removed
past
from
me,
the
you
vehicle?
were not wearing a seatbelt. That's not true. I have this on.
Driver's license and insurance, sir.
Are you planning on killing us today?
No, you're not going to kill you, okay?
I'm an American. I have my seatbelt. Well, that's great to know, okay? You were not wearing a seatbelt.
Oh,
I'm an American, you can't kill me for not wearing a seatbelt.
I don't think they can kill you in general for not wearing a seatbelt.
Oh my goodness. Okay, first and foremost, let's break down what we've seen so far because it's been a wild ride already and we're
A minute in?
a minute and 20 seconds in. So the officer, when he first walked up, he did really well. He said who he was. He explained why he pulled the gentleman over. He used some really good vocal inflection and all of that in order to not sound mean, rude, intimidating, whatever. Hey, this is me. I'm from the Racine County Sheriff's Department. You know, was very nice about that. The subject, however, immediately started arguing.
Mm-hmm.
So then the officer goes to kind of that bad cop mode of, you're not, you need to give me what I'm asking for, otherwise you're going to make this harder than it has to be, and all of that. Sometimes that I'm just going to be very authoritative and tell you what it is and how it's going to be works for subjects. Sometimes it doesn't, and you got to kind of be able and willing to play both sides. Another way that he could have approached it could have been something like, I'm really glad to see that you did put your seatbelt on after you saw me. However, we're out here really trying to make sure that we're saving lives, protect and serve, and we want to make sure that you're thinking about putting your seatbelt on the second that you get in the vehicle, because an accident can happen anytime and we just want to make sure you're safe. And that could be a completely different way to approach it, where instead of it being a, look, I'm totally wearing it thing, and him arguing, hey, thank you for putting it on now, but this is where we're at, and I just want
Hiding your phone under your pillow when you're not.
to. No, you never did that.
No, not at all. Never did.
When you drove past me, we saw you putting it on while we were behind you. You can argue this all day long and make this even worse for yourself. Otherwise, just give us your ID and the insurance, sir. What do you want my money?
Driver's
That's
license and
amazing
insurance,
video.
sir. You're making a big driver's license and insurance, sir. You're making a
So both of them are playing that kind of we're not going to play with you cop vibe. I'm gonna steal a phrase from Sergeant Curtis if you ever watched his videos, because it's perfect. Deputy, don't play that. Like, we're not gonna play your game. Give us what we're asking. Again, works sometimes, other times you might need to find a different approach. And the fact that there's two officers there, I would have really recommended one take the approach of deputy, don't play that. The other one take the approach of, let me be the nice guy and talk you through this. And I get it. Shouldn't always have to talk people through things or, try to be all lovey-dovey and nice. But
Gonna have to baby them.
a much better way of putting that. But sometimes that's just what we need to do, because sometimes people have had a bad day, they've had a bad week, they've had a bad time, and this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. I don't know whether or not that's true for this gentleman, but it could be. And so sometimes taking that softer approach can make a world of difference.
bigger deal out of this than it has to be.
For my seatbelt?
Yes. Yep.
Why? I have my seatbelt.
You have a traffic violation. Your seatbelt was not on, sir, so can you have your driver's license and insurance?
With your body camera, I have my seatbelt on. They're
Sir.
running, right?
Abruptly, he became erratic and started to destroy his possessions, such as his sunglasses and the money in his wallet.
I want to see them beat them, though.
Because I watched you put them on, sir. Now please put them on, or I'm going to ask you to step out of the vehicle. And when I do so, that's a lawful order. And if I have to, I can forcibly remove you from the vehicle, sir. All right?
I broke my glasses. You
Oh,
like that?
okay.
$150 fucking glasses.
Well, that's your problem.
$150 glasses
You're
that
acting
you
like a
chose
child
to break.
right now.
My money? Here.
You're acting like a child. I want your driver's license and your insurance.
Here's everything I have. Here's my money. Here's my
You're
money.
acting like a child, sir.
Here's my card.
Because
Here's
I'm sick
everything.
Your
of
driver's
having money
license, sir.
back
Hand
into
it
the
to me.
car so it
Take
doesn't
my
fly
money.
out.
Take
Yeah.
this too. Take that.
Was-
Driver's license,
that
sir.
You're just
That was
destroying all-
registration.
I think the lady in the background said that was his card. One thing that I'd like to point out, and I don't know if you really paid that much attention, but look at this right here. This lady is I don't want to have anything to do
She's
with
enjoying the
this.
scenery. Lavender fields
Please
and trees over there.
Stop. I'm just gonna stare out the window, and I know where this is gonna go. This tells me
It's
that
definitely not his first time doing it.
Right, that my earlier assumption that maybe he's had a bad day or a bad week is probably incorrect. This is probably, poor lady, I'm so sorry, especially if you are with this gentleman a lot. This is probably par for the course for this guy, and
One would hope not.
right, but she's just, let me just stare out the window. I
It's
don't
a
have
pretty
anything to
deal.
do with it. And then when he goes and
When
he
I do
breaks
so,
his
that's a lawful order.
glasses,
And if I have
watch
to, I can
her.
forcibly remove you from the vehicle, sir. All right?
I broke my glasses. You like that?
Yeah.
$150 fucking glasses.
Well, that,
He throws them directly in front of her, it bounces off, it hits her, and you get no reaction from this poor.
Does not want to be a part of this
She
at all.
is like this, not again. Not
Right.
again.
I do like how, because some people think it's best to just walk away from situations like this. Not when you're getting pulled over, because now the officer's attention is also focused on you. Like if you get out of the car, you start walking around. Now they have to keep eyes on you to make sure you don't end up a potential threat.
Yeah, if you get pulled over on a traffic stop, unless the officer asks you out of the vehicle, in which case, if the officer asks you out of the vehicle, you
Get
have
out.
to get out of the vehicle. There is case law about that. Pennsylvania versus Mims. It is case law that says for officer safety, you have to get out of the vehicle. That being said, unless the officer says, hey, let's step out of the vehicle, stay in the vehicle, please. This poor lady.
The officer with divided attention, not the best idea.
What's your problem? Okay, you're acting like a child right now.
My money? Here.
You're acting like a child. I want your driver's license and your insurance.
Here's everything I have. Here's
Back
my
there
money.
goes stop.
Here's my
You're
money.
acting like a child,
He
sir.
does not
my
get back
card. Here's everything.
Your driver's license, sir. Hand it
Take
to
my
me.
money. Take my money. Take this too. Take that.
in. So she's like, but that's our insurance card. Like this lady, oh my goodness.
She's trying her best.
I'm loving this lady. I hope that this isn't par for the course, and I hope that it was just
I hope it was just a one-time thing.
yeah. But I'm liking this lady.
Your driver's license, sir.
You're just destroying all my stuff. Ruining my holiday.
Dollars.
Give me something I'm doing.
There was a
$3.
$5 that he just threw. I'd like to point out that the officer started out this video saying this is a $10 ticket
And so far, he's ripped $3 in half.
and threw a $5 on the ground. Like, you had
This-
enough cash to cover this ticket right off the bat, and you're destroying that. And you destroyed $150 sunglasses over a $10 ticket. The officer points out that the gentleman's acting like a child. He really is. The subject is absolutely. However, as an officer, that might not be the most professional way to approach that. And just remember that if you're courteous, professional, and respectful, your sergeants, your lieutenants, all of them are always going to easily be able to have your back because they know that you're making the right choices on what you say. Because as an officer, as soon as you put on that badge, as soon as you put on that uniform, it's like you're no longer a human. You're an officer, right? And people forget that officers are people too. Like, so bad. But officers are people too. So they, they're going to have emotions. They're going to react. All of this stuff as well, just like a regular person does. But for some reason, we put this higher. Yeah, officers in our brains, for some reason, have these higher standards. Well, you're not actually human. You're a robot because you're an officer. And it's just not true. But again, I think that the onus for de-escalating situations and trying to keep situations calm, cool, and collected is definitely.
The way this dude's acting, he started off belligerent. I just immediately started getting defensive. Like, look, I had my seatbelt on. Look, you could see it. It's right here. Like, he immediately started getting defensive. And then the more officers try to talk to him, it just gets worse.
Yeah. Again, poor lady. I'm
Significantly
sorry.
worse. This escalated ridiculously.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I can't personally say what's going on in his mind, but he definitely cannot control his emotions that well. Considering that he immediately started acting defensive.
He's acting like a 36-year-old baby, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Ripping up the money. I spent $500 for my fucking family.
That's great.
Huh?
Driver's license, sir.
Time.
Are you
I need a script.
intoxicated, sir?
Bullshit.
The,
kind
the
of
lady
drugs are
over
you
there
on,
is just
sir?
collecting.
Well, here's a, you need this too. We'll just rip that up too.
Okay, so I was speaking, so I don't know if you guys heard that, but the officer said, "Are you intoxicated, sir?" Which, okay. And then, what sort of drugs are you on, sir?
Not good.
So, again, this is where that professionalism kind of, is he saying anything wrong? No, like,
The
Normal-
way he said it.
yeah. Normal people aren't going to sit there and destroy sunglasses or rip up money because they're getting a $10. That being said, instead of wording it, what kind of drugs are you on, sir? Maybe there's a better way to word that. Like, you're acting a little bit strange, in my opinion, after, my years of experience doing traffic stops. Is everything okay with you? Approach it different because, again, that respectfulness, Big Sarge, LT, they're going to have your back if you're able to be respectful. If you're over there, what kind of drugs are you on, sir? It comes across as sarcastic, rude, like, you're making fun of the gentleman, all of this stuff. And it's just,
Not helping anything.
no, it's really not.
Making you look bad, and I mean, this dude's not paying attention to the officers at all. But it could have agitated and escalated the situation even more.
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of drugs are you on, sir? Your driver's license.
Go get it. Take it. Take whatever
I'm
you
not
want.
going into your vehicle, sir. Can I have your driver's license, please?
Rip all this up too. Got nothing
And
now.
he's officially
take
ripped
this.
up the
Thank you,
ticket.
sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so you can take my money.
Okay. So I feel like, again, the officer didn't say anything wrong. He said thank you when the gentleman handed him his driver's license, but I feel like that was almost like a passive aggressive because
It sounded more like because he's like, "Thank you, sir." It sounded more like a "Thank you." Was it that difficult?
but at the same token, officer watched poor lady hand over that license to the gentleman, and I don't think the gentleman really paid that much attention to what he was handing the officer at that point. I'm so sorry, lady. Okay.
Take my money.
Remain in the vehicle, sir. I'll be back
Take
up
my
with you,
money.
okay?
Look, I have my seatbelt on. You take my fucking money. That's bullshit. My seatbelt's on and they're accusing me of something.
No cursing.
That's bullshit.
Sorry, I'm just
You can't ever enjoy life anymore around here without being harassed and accused of something. I have my fucking seatbelt on. You give me a ticket, you pulled up on me, I have my seatbelt on. Last man break-ins. I will just fucking start dumping on my blood right now and give them that too.
It's a situation.
Are you referring to a courthouse?
Yes.
We never mess up. Happen.
Courtyard and courthouse are the same thing. So
Totally.
we start with the same thing.
So I agree.
Courthouse.
Like, if you get pulled over and you don't believe that you committed whatever infraction you're being pulled over for, by all means, argue it, but not on the side of it. Argue it with the judge. By the time the officers pull you over and start working on writing you a ticket or whatever, it's going to happen. That you're going to get the ticket. That's what's going to happen. If you don't believe, truthfully don't believe, committed whatever infraction you were pulled over for, by all means, argue it in court, not on the side of the road. Because anything that you say or do on the side of the road is just going to exacerbate the situation, and it's not going to change. Watching some of these body cam videos, you hear things that talk about like maxing people out or talking yourself into a ticket or anything like that. Like, I get that they're in the middle of a click it or ticket campaign, so he probably would have received a ticket simply because of the campaign. However, a lot of times, if you get pulled over for not having a seatbelt, it's probably just a warning. Hey, I noticed you weren't wearing your seatbelts. Don't save lives. Please wear your seatbelt. Have a good day.
I'd be impressed if this didn't get an obstruction charge.
At this point, yeah, because he spent so long not following officer directives. And again, you're always going to be asked for the same thing on a traffic stop. Your driver's license, your insurance, registration. Every time.
The lady's the one that handed the cops everything.
Yeah. That poor lady.
This dude's freaking out because we stopped him for a seatbelt and he put it on when we were behind him. Like literally freaking out. He's tearing up money and he's freaking out. So if you just want to go up there with him while I run him out real quick and issue him this citation.
Because I have my seatbelt on. These people pull me over. They pull up on me and say I don't have my seatbelt on. It's right here. I can see it. I can taste it.
Lady's putting money in the wallet. Did he just say he could taste it and put
It's
it in his
upsetting
mouth?
to me.
Yeah.
Upsetting to you that you drove past me without a
That's
seatbelt.
a
Kissed it
crock
like
of
6
bullshit.
times.
You know that. Don't give me that.
Okay.
He's tearing up cash in his car and throwing it all over the place.
Okay, so I know Raptor and I were talking a little bit through that, but if you notice, the officer standing at the window kind of responded to the gentleman, to the subject, about the fact that, he's wearing a seatbelt. Well, you weren't when I watched you drive past, whatever. Like, as that officer that's standing there, I get why he's standing there. The subject is being belligerent. He is being a little bit goofy. And so the officer standing there for officer safety, because there happen to be 2 of them in the car. So one will stay with the subject while the other one goes and does what needs to be done for the citation. But don't argue. Like, just, if you're an officer and you're watching, don't continue to argue with the subject. It's just going to keep the escalation going, keep it up at that high level where it's not going to calm anything down. I get the desire to argue and to, you know, state your case, but you put on that badge, you've got that higher standard. So just don't argue back in.
Gonna get
I have my
wasting
seatbelt
oxygen.
on, and you're giving me a ticket for my seatbelt
You
being
not
on.
have your seatbelt on.
My seatbelt's on. You give me a ticket. You're taking my goddamn thing. You're giving me a ticket for having my damn seatbelt
You
on.
do not have a seatbelt on.
My seatbelt is on. When you pull up to a stop, my seatbelt is on.
It was not on.
It
It was
is
on
on.
when we pulled up because
It's
you put
been
it
on
on when you got on the intersection.
So again, this is just that back and forth that's not going to go anywhere. Having worked with students, trust me, I've had students, argue all the time. Hey, Johnny, get off that chair. No, you're a dumb B word. Cool, Johnny, I need you to get off the chair. No, la 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 la. Johnny, get off the chair. It's always the same vocal inflection, the same tone. I'm not arguing or bantering back and forth. This is my directive. This is what you're going to do. And so that officer standing there isn't currently giving the gentleman a directive, but just don't respond because you're feeding into what he's trying to do. He's trying to make you look like the bad guy. You look like you caused all of this. The officer made me rip up my $150 glasses. No, sir, the officer didn't make you do anything. You chose to do that, As somebody that works in schools, I would hear all the time, you got me in trouble. I never got you in trouble. You got you in trouble. I just happen to be the person explaining to you that you are now in trouble. So this subject choosing not to wear a seatbelt is what got him in trouble. That was the choice he made. And the officers just happened to be the catalyst explaining, now you're in trouble because it's very different. So don't have that back and forth talk. Don't feed into what the subject's trying to do, which is pull you down to their level, pull you down to that path.
My brain immediately thought, I'm going to bring you down to my level of stupidity and beat.
Okay.
The officer starts raising his voice, starts to escalate his vocals, which is just going to make it worse. Now you're both trying to talk over each other. Both are now getting agitated.
And poor lady in the back is still just...
She's calm. She's composed.
She's awesome. She's my favorite character in this drama that we're currently watching. Like, she is amazing, and I wish more people were like her. Although we wouldn't have much if everybody was like her.
That's not true.
Oh my God.
That's not true. My
You're,
seatbelt's on.
you're delusional.
My
Oh,
seatbelt is
jeez.
on. You pulled up to the traffic stop.
Okay.
Yeah, you had it on.
So
Not a good word to use.
I totally understand the premise of calling the subject because he believes that he can hold court on the side of the road, that he can talk his way out of this $10 ticket, all of this stuff. In his mind, this can happen. So I get the premise of wanting to be like, hey, you're delusional. But again,
Much better ways to work.
and as an officer, that is not like the respectful tone and wording that you need to use. Like, it doesn't come across in that high standard that we hold officers to as the right standard for you to speak to the subject. And so I have a hard time really defending the officer's use of "you're delusional."
And one of the big things is anything that you say can be used in court. That goes both ways. That's not just the suspect. Both ways.
Yeah.
So both parties have to watch what they say. Is guess what? Everything's recorded. Everything's in court. So if this dude did take this cop to court, I don't know if they'd bring that up, but they could see and hear the actions of the cops.
And it doesn't necessarily even have to be in court. If this dude contacts the Racine County Sheriff's Department and says, hey, your officers were rude, they spoke to me in a condescending manner, they asked me if I was on drugs simply because I was upset that I got stopped, all of these things when their supervisor watches this body-worn camera footage, they're going to be like, that's pretty accurate. Like, you two escalated the situation more than it needed to be. And while technically it wasn't anything wrong, inappropriate, anything like too crazy other than the delusion, I have a hard time defending that one. But there are better ways to approach a situation like that. In this type of situation, you know, if just these snippets were put onto social media or something, it makes the Racine County Sheriff's Department look bad. And as an officer, you have to make sure that you're doing everything that your department look great, because we need more officers out there that are showing that officers are great people. They are awesome. When crap hits the fan, they're the ones running toward the crap while everybody's running away, and we need them. And you want to make sure that you're doing everything in your power when you're wearing that badge, and even when you're not, to make your department look great.
I can't afford a fucking $10 seatbelt ticket for no reason.
Well, you could have afforded it, but you ripped your money off.
Those cash sheets are $10.
I mean-
a bunch of singles and stuff. He freaked out. I thought I was gonna have to drag him out of the car.
Not wrong.
Because that's all it is. All they do is collect revenue for the state. That's all it is. Collecting revenue. I got my seatbelt on.
Ladies back to just staring out the
$10
window.
seatbelt ticket, like it's the end of the world.
My seatbelt's on. I shouldn't be getting a ticket. I got my seatbelt on.
We should just arrest him for obstructing. Being an ass about it.
Look, I got my seatbelt on.
Look at him, yeah.
It's on.
We watched him put it on.
36-year-old
Every turn
man-child.
behind him. And then he's like yelling in the fucking mirror and stuff.
Bullshit. That's not right. That's not right. I won't do that to your family.
What was that? I can't hear you because of motorcycles.
Harold, I won't do that to your family. Supposed to be enjoying the holiday and everything else, man.
Holiday?
Here I'm being harassed on my birthday weekend. Being
4th of
harassed.
July, right? Because it's
Getting
July
in
1st?
trouble for having my seatbelt on.
You guys caught the wrong day. He just spent $500 on his family. Probably bought some illegal fireworks. Should ask him to see his permit. Jeez. We could be like those agencies that confiscate fireworks. Yeah.
This is that talking yourself into a ticket concept right
Body
here.
camera's on, right?
Where
It's on, it's
because
been
of
recording this whole
crazy
time.
Good, I'm gonna sue your
way
ass.
he's acting, not that he's crazy, but he's acting
Yeah.
Because you weren't wearing it.
crazy,
I'm suing you guys because I can't legally
They're
do
like,
that. You can
maybe
sue
we
me
should
on
ask them to see the
probably
permit.
Take your money privately and take you to court.
Okay.
Do that.
Okay.
Do that. That's a true fact.
Okay.
at this point, this front officer should just kind of step back, walk away, again, stop.
You walked
stop
out with your
engaging.
camera onto my vehicle with the recording that my seatbelt is on.
Yes.
Oh, Scott's got him calmed down now.
No, he does not. What? Scott does not have him calmed down.
You guys are bored.
Tell you what, my favorite character over there is Calm,
You got
though.
nothing else better to do. Like you're up to the state. You have to wear seatbelts. That's why it's on. It's a law in Wisconsin. Everywhere else
It is
you
a law in
life.
Wisconsin. That's why you get a citation for not wearing it when you pull onto the
You
interstate.
give me a citation on camera for someone that you pull up on a stop and have your seatbelt on.
Okay.
So how's that going to fly in court?
Trying to hold court on the side of the road.
When you go to court then, I will be there and I will testify to the fact that you do not have your seatbelt on, sir.
So he knows
Freaking
Gasoline
out over a
on
$10
fire.
ticket. Yeah, man.
He knows
Spent
what
$500
court
on his
is. I
family,
guess he
man.
just
Yeah.
doesn't know where court.
Be 2 against 1 in the courtroom. It's going to be you and your buddy, and then me sitting in the car with my seatbelt on.
I could only imagine what's going through her mind.
Say
Just,
that they don't have something on when they have it on. My seatbelt's on.
Here's your information back, all right?
My seatbelt's on.
I'm
It's
issuing
been
you a
on.
citation for failure to wear your seatbelt. All right.
It's on. Is your body
All right.
camera on? I got my
Yeah.
seatbelt on, you know. It's been
Fantastic.
on.
I'm happy it should have been on before.
Every time this dude's reiterated that he has a seatbelt on, he could have paid. Let me reiterate: if you had $1 for every time this dude said that he had his seatbelt on, you could probably pay his ticket tenfold.
yeah, at least.
Before you left.
It was on.
So it's $10, all right?
$10 could have
Yeah. And you're freaking out over $10.
$10.
Yep, because we're doing a click it or ticket campaign. That's why we're out here.
If you take some of your money together, maybe that'll help you out with that.
All right. Non-mandatory court date of August 11, 2022 at 2 p.m. at the Racine County Circuit
You
Court.
want
That's in
$10, I'll
downtown
give you
Racine.
$10.
We don't post bond here, all right? You have to pay on or before the court date. If you choose to pay, you pay online, in person, or by mail. Information on the bottom of the citation as well as on the bond envelope, which is self-explanatory. Okay? You have any questions?
No.
All right. Make sure you're buckled up before you leave next time, sir.
A lot of the end video again, it wasn't about what the officer was saying, but about how the officer was saying. So it came across as very condescending. And I get it, this subject was interesting, but maintain that professionalism. Like, maintain. And, like, looking at this guy's face right there, he knows. He's, like, trying not to laugh at the condescendingness of this officer's.
I was laughing earlier about the situation, so probably still about the situation.
Yeah, but he knows. Look at that face. He knows.
All right, be safe.
You got good eyes.
Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
Got good eyes. Was that him admitting it?
I don't know.
You're good to go. Drive safe. Buckle up.
In the end, the male driver was given the $10 traffic citation for vehicle operator failure to wear a seatbelt, which he paid the following month.
So
He
he
didn't take it in court.
no, he ended up paying. And I mean, like, it's $10, guys. Like, was it really worth all of it? That being said, I said a lot of things that the officers could have done differently. Talked a lot about what I think the officers' choices were like in this video. The subject's choice. Let's talk about exactly. Let's talk about some of the social skills the subject could have utilized in order to have us not have this video to watch, because this was definitely interesting. Number one, first and foremost, accepting consequences. Like,
I will admit, it is difficult, but I have to.
you make a choice, you end up with a consequence. Like, and consequences aren't always bad. Sometimes you make the choice to go to work, and your consequence is getting paid. Sometimes you make the choice of arguing with the officers over a $10 seatbelt ticket, and the consequence is you still get the $10 seatbelt ticket. Like, let's just
Your
accept
actions
those.
is going to work. The consequences are you have to go to work.
Second thing, following directions. Oh my goodness. Like, if he had just followed directions, he wouldn't have had a bunch of torn up cash. He would still have his $150 sunglasses.
Being agitated over something small like that is, some people, it seems like an inconvenience, or pulling them over for us. Come on, dude.
And that's the third one, controlling emotion.
But you're not talking yourself out of a ticket. It's not happening. Not on the side of the road. In court, maybe if you have irrefutable evidence. On the side of the road, the cops have to do their job. They're not just gonna pull you over for no reason.
So hopefully you guys liked this. Hopefully it is a different perspective on these body-worn camera videos where I'm talking about what's going on and things that can be done differently. This was definitely a very, very interesting one because our 36-year-old man-child here was, by all means, a 36-year-old man-child. But
Both sides could have done things differently.
a lot differently in
I
the
don't-
video, yeah.
I don't know how much it would affect, how it would have affected the outcome, but
Hopefully the whole purpose of these videos is to help create some knowledge on how to have better interactions, which could in turn have better outcomes. So we'll see you on the next one. Thank you all.
later.